You are now ready for the reading content tutorial part of the Praxis Core tutorial. So let's go over the logistics of the test. So remember, it's 85 minutes long and it contains 56 questions. And the test contains 4 types of stimulus material. So you're going to be reading something called paired passages that are about 200 words with 4 to 7 questions attached. You're going to be reading longer passages that are 200 words with also 4 to 7 questions. And then you're going to be doing something called short passages. These are about half the size with 100 words with 2 to 3 questions attached. And then there's going to be a brief statement followed by a single question. So recall that these are the areas that are going to be measured by the reading subtest: key ideas and details, craft, structure, and language skills, integration of knowledge and ideas. So let's talk about how to do this tutorial. So you're going to start with a free diagnostic test using Khan Academy. And if you recall from other tutorials, Khan Academy is ETS's resource that they're using to help support students online with preparation. So just like with the other tutorials, you're going to want to take this diagnostic test and then start filling out your study plan. So I'm going to open up the study plan. And again, ETS created this, and they took those 3 major areas like key ideas and details, there's craft, structure, and language skills. And then they broke those down into the different areas that are going to be measured. So when you take the Khan Academy diagnostic test, you can fill out this first column based on the results of your diagnostic test. That's why I do encourage you to complete that, because it's going to really help you to know the areas that you are doing well in, and then the areas that you're going to do, you need more work and more attention to. So you're going to want to fill out your study plan based on those results. And again, the 3 areas are broken down, and then the actual subpart of each area is listed there. Okay, so once you kind of fill out your study plan and you know the direction you're going to be going, the next thing you want to do is you want to watch this Praxis Core reading tutorial. So this is a narrated PowerPoint tutorial, so you do need to put it in slideshow in order to not only view the slides, but also hear the narration. But in this tutorial, I'm going to be breaking down how to read the passages. So this is going to really focus in on, those different types of stimulus materials, the different types of passages, what they're going to look like, the content that's going to be covered, and really how to read it. So that tutorial is going to focus in on that. The other type of tutorial that we've created is a tutorial on the reading questions. So there are 12 types of reading questions that are going to be measured on the Praxis Core reading. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is start with type 1 main idea question. So what I'm going to do is kind of just model this for you. I'm going to open this up. And then this is what each of the types is going to look like. You'll have the type of question up here. Then you're going to have an explanation of the type of question. So for example, type 1 is main idea. So this is going to measure main idea, which is the central point of the passage. And then it's also going to measure primary purpose, which is what is the author's purpose for the passage. And as you can see, there's some examples of what this means and then what the question may look like. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to try out, you're going to practice that specific question. So there is a couple practice questions that are embedded into Word documents for each practice type. So I'm going to open this up for you and just kind of show you what it looks like. So in this particular one, there are a couple questions. So you would read the passage and then you would answer the question. So this one has a few here. And then at the very last page of the document is the answer key. So this is as far as I'm going to go, just so that you don't, see the answers. But you're going to take, the practice questions, and then the answer key will be available to you. So you want to do that for each of the question types, for all 12 types, because you want to familiarize yourself with the kind of question you're going to be coming across when you take this test. So then the next thing you're going to want to do is also read the tips. So there's going to be some tips about, how to read these questions, what these questions mean, that sort of thing. So each of these pages has 1 or 2, tips that are involved with it. Okay, so let's go back. to the main page. So after you've done all 12 question types, the next thing you're going to want to do is take these reading practice quizzes. So similar to other tutorials, there's about 15 questions on each of these quizzes. So that's about 60 questions. It is timed, and the time has been adjusted so that it models the time that you're going to be given here. So, you have 56 questions, 85 minutes long. So the 15-minute questions, 15 questions have been modified in terms of time. So you want to take each of these practice quizzes. These, these different quizzes will have a whole assortment of these different stimuli materials here, and they're going to have an assortment of those 12 questions. Whereas when you go into the types of reading questions, you're going to be just getting questions in each of those areas so that you can identify them. Now, once you're done with that, it's best to go back to your study plan. So I'm going to reopen the study plan and start to reevaluate yourself in those different areas. You want to take a look at your scores here, your strong areas and areas that are a little bit more challenging for you, and you want to see if you're making improvement. So for example, are you able now to draw inferences and implications? So maybe this was a 2 when you first started studying. You want to make sure that you can turn this into a 4 or 5 so that you feel much stronger. So you want to continuously, evaluate and reevaluate your skills so that you are, completely sure that areas that needed attention were remediated. So after you've done that and you've finished, watching the tutorial, you have a feeling for the content, the types of questions, you've done your practice quizzes, and you feel confident, you're ready, you're pretty much done with your preparation, then it's going to be time to take the reading practice test. Now, please understand that you're going to be given one full practice test that is timed, and you only will have one attempt. So please understand that it's important to be ready to take this. So I don't suggest that you take the practice test until you feel you have completed your preparation. So the practice test, you're going to read the directions. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to have 5 minutes to copy and paste the code into the link. So you'll be given a link that's going to take you to ETS. So ETS actually runs the practice test. We do not. So it is a third party. So you're going to put the code in, and then it's going to take you through a couple pages of directions. And then once you hit start, that's it. That code will expire, and then you will have the test at your fingertips. Understand that if you abort the test, or if something happens, during the test, we cannot reset it because ETS gives one code per student. So it's important to make sure that you're ready, you've devoted time, you have working technology, and you are in a quiet location and able to take the test. So again, this is really the last step after you are done with your other preparation. So that's the reading tutorial in a nutshell. You can also take a practice test through Khan Academy. Just note that the only way that they will allow you to do that is if you have taken the diagnostic test. So regardless, it is a really, strongly suggested that you do take the diagnostic test so that you can fill out your study plan and have a more mindful plan about how you're going to work through this preparation.